You know, leave the piston the way it is. Some people, you know, they want the ported. I'm indifferent. As long as it works, I'll leave it. If it doesn't work, I'll change it. Alright, so yeah, there's a very light coating of grease on there. So let's, I actually have ICS gear grease. Oh yeah, you know what I'm doing over here. Shaking up that awesome ICS gear grease. It's pink. They sell two kinds. They sell gear lubricating, which is thicker. It's like snot, and then they have the silicone oil, just like you'd want to put in a gas blowback, but this is thicker. So there's two different kinds of ICS gear grease. I think I got this at Airsoft or ASGI or something, but it's good to remember that there are two different kinds of ICS aerosol grease. Grab a nozzle. Go. So that is fine, actually. I think on my old review, I think I said I didn't know if it was bearings or bushings. But I don't remember though, but it's definitely bushings, 8mm bushings. So you can put bearings in too if you want to go quieter, but it's got such a short barrel, it's going to be loud regardless. That's actually fine. And it's got a nice light coating on it. This is the one that looked dry. The back is fairly well lubed. You can see it doesn't actually make contact down there, so it's still got the lube on it from the factory. It's like sort of a white lithium grease that they use at the factory, so not bad, just slightly smeared. If you take apart a DBoys or a JG or an AGM, they always got this like green toothpaste stuff in them that's kind of thick and everywhere. It's not the way to do it. ICS is doing it properly. They probably just brushed this with like a brush and was like, okay, you know, it's fine that side. But this could use a little more because it looks like it's been worn off a little bit from the sector, and the spur gear. Yeah, sector. Off this spur gear. It's got a light coating. Let's just put a little bit on there. And there's plenty on there. I don't want to go overkill with grease. So just take a finger, just lightly go. It smells like butane because, you know. So there we go, just a light coating of grease. And just gently down this side. Down the side of the tappet plate. Kind of hard to see where the, you know, working because the camera's way up there. And I'm down here. So I don't exactly know if it's in shot. I should have marked this out. Some gaffer tape or something. So, alright, so we got some nice lubrication on that. And I think if I put it on here, it will be even better. Because, you know, it's spilled there. That way, I can move that O-ring on the loading nozzle. This guy's nice and tight in there too. Looks like a little buffer in there, as they all do, but it's got a nice tight ear, so I'm not going to mess with it. Sleeping dogs need to lie. So, that's good. Alright, so I got a little bit of grease there, a little grease there. Put some on the corresponding rails over here. Just so it's got a good glide on it. Alright. So, yeah, it's pretty decent. Decent there, decent there. It's got a good sheen on it, so that means the grease is good. Interesting design on that. Where it would hit the, see if we can focus in on that. No? You gotta focus, there it goes, yeah. Where it would hit the yaw control, the cutoff lever, which this doesn't have because it's full auto. It's got that little notch there. It's kind of weird. It's not like the other ICS guns I have. So, much like inside of a car transmission, you want it just have a sheen. You don't want to have a globs of grease. Just want a nice sheen, you know, as if you were protecting them from rusting. So it looks like we need to put the universal latch in. Let's see what we got here. I think that's how it goes. This is my first time. That's what she said, but there we go. Oh, it looks, it holds it nicely in place. So, go, universal latch. If you're looking, if you're online, see the spring's right there. Where my fingertip is. And we just put it in like this. So the lever's over. Stick it in here. Oops, have it pop out because your hands are all slimy. And it'll, looks like it just holds it right in place. That's cool. This thing's leaking. It's got like a post-nasal drip on my grease here. Just move it over. Ironically, it's my computer desk, and I cleaned it off, so it wasn't a little dirty, and now it's gear grease onto my computer desk that I can just clean off again. Alright, so that and that. We've pre-lubed these sides of the tappet plate. I'm going to stick this guy in there. And rotate this. Knock that out again, of course, so I wouldn't have it any other way. So I didn't pay attention when I put it in. Well, this one is easy enough, looks like. We can just so this piece needs to go on with the universal latch. Otherwise, you're screwed. Bam. And I can put that on later. Hopefully. Yeah. Alright. So, now the fun part. Well, other than this. Right, I'm just putting some grease into the bearings of that DBoys spring guide. A little stronger spring. I know, when I looked down the piston, there was no bearings in the piston. And what I was relying on was this sort of cheap plastic eared. It actually feels like polycarbonate, so it's probably strong plastic. But it's only got a washer on it. I'd rather bearings with a stronger spring. Make sure it's nice and lubed. And that. This guy fits on it without binding. Yeah, I've had some spring guides that were wide, and the spring would bind on the spring guide, which is no fun. So, let's wipe some grease off my hands because, you know, just because. Don't want stuff flying around. There's a hole at the back of the gearbox, so that's good. But as you can see, I haven't seen another gearbox like this. You know, it's unique to this gun. Nicely machined, nicely cast. You know, ICS always does good stuff. So we're gonna do the front here and then gently push in. Not gently, but strongly push in. Some assertiveness. Down to the edges. And the ears are correct. Alright. Jiggle. Alright, this is where you look for, say, hey, what's binding? It's usually the inner reverse latch is popped out of position, which it has a little bit, but we can fix that. We can push him back in. Tip for that is using a X-Acto knife because they're thin, pointy. So we're going to kind of push this back over. I think it's gone too far. This might be an adventure of the force. Yes, it has. It's popped out of the hole and gone next to it. So we need to open the gearbox again. So, you, my friend, need to go in that hole. At work I have some nice thick grease that I can use to secure inner reverse latches in place. And it's like thick molybdenum grease, which holds the inner reverse latch in place so it doesn't pop out of the hole. But I do not have that here. I got some lithium grease, car lithium grease, but I don't want to bother with that. So remember, hook part goes on the top there, that little hook. That's down in the hole, like down some chains. So push, make sure they're all lined up. It's lined up, it's lined up. Alright, I wonder if I can just put this like this. Now, go off for sign. My desk is too greasy, I think, to have this work effectively. No, wait. No, I can do it this way. Yay. Alright, I was saying about this, it's nice and thin. You can go in there and you can gently nudge the gears into place, so the inner reverse latch into place. Or whatever else is holding this up. I think it feels like the double gear. It's causing us grief. I'm just gonna rotate that. Hopefully it'll get in there. One bevel. It's your home. You want to go in there. There we go. So now you have it in a reverse latch. You can see it there. The mechanical thing kind of pulls the inner reverse latch back when you pull the put it back in the safe. That's how that works. See, that is it. That's in there. So, upgrading the spring, not too bad. Madbull hop-up bucking does not work. It's too fat to fit in that hop-up. Hop-up's good design, but I don't think there's anything that is the same as this. It looks maybe like a Scar hop-up. I think I have one hanging around over here. I don't think they've ever made a Scar. Actually, no. It's different than a Scar. Yeah, it's too different. Oh well, yeah, it's not as deep. Yeah, it's further back. One could hope. That's a Scar hop-up. You see in the DBoys in the Classic Army and Echo 1 Scar. Yeah. But, I mean, it holds position good because it's got that good notch on there. But, yeah, too narrow. I could probably sand it out, but it's just not worth the effort to do that. So, that's it. It's inside the gearbox for this thing. Really nicely made. If you're allowed to do full auto CQB, you know, leaving it at 330 is fine. But out over 100 feet, it was just spread wasn't there. You know, and I could see that it wasn't even reaching people at 150. They just went everywhere with .25s. Going to try some .32s, and that's another reason I upgraded the spring, to make it a little more ready for .32s. I don't want to put .32s in something that's really low velocity, but it should be hopefully around 380, 390 now with that M110. But we'll see tomorrow when I chrono it at work.